Hey guys, what's up? We're back with the weekly watch list where we go over our levels and we look at what we're looking to take coming into Monday, as well as potential setups for the rest of the week. So coming into the first point here on the video, as always, is going to be our news and earnings. So news this week is actually going to be quite low. We don't actually have a whole lot. Going into Monday, all we have relative to the U.S. is going to be the fact that we have the bank holiday going into the day and then FOMC right at open. Right near open, 9 a.m. So Monday, not too significant. Again, this bank holiday is going to make it so that any new traders here, be aware that your funds are not going to be settled coming into Monday, so you're going to still have the buying power that you had left over Friday. So if you don't have any, there's no point in even showing up because you can't trade, other than the fact you might get screen time. Okay, so that's the only reason you'd show up if you don't have any. Coming into Tuesday, we have 8:30 a.m. Empire State Manufacturing Index, a lot of Canadian news, nothing really too relevant there. Going into Wednesday, we have same kind of thing, Canadian news, 8:15, 8:30, manufacturing, housing starts. We do have import prices at 8:30, and then we do have CB leading index, but that's AUD, so it's gold. It's not too relative unless you're in futures. Going into Thursday, we do have quite a bit of news Thursday to be fully aware of here. 8:30 a.m. we have core retail sales. Retail sales, unemployment claims, and then Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. We have a Euro press conference, not too relevant. In 9:15, we have capacity utilization rate and then industrial production rate. So important news there for sure. Thursday, and then going into Friday, we do have building permits and housing starts at 8:30. So news not too incredibly important this week, or too significant to be aware of, but still something to have in consideration going into the week. We do have some news reports coming out in our trading times. So going into this week, when it comes down to earnings, again, nothing really too significant this week. Some people might be looking at United a little bit. Those that look at BA might be looking at that as well, and not something we really look at. Netflix is going to be a very, very significant day to watch. Coming off that, see what we get. If we get a big rejection, there's not going to be anything to watch. However, this could go into a new all-time high. But for me personally, I'm going to be staying away because this company is so volatile. It is such a wide spread on the contracts at all times, just about. Friday, for example, a 15 to 20% spread at almost any given minute. And the contracts can move very, very badly when it has a pullback. So something I'm going to be staying away from, but anybody that's interested may take a look at that. So that's going to be earnings as well as our news of the week. Coming into ES, looking at our significant levels on futures, as well as the NASDAQ. We're going to be looking at significant levels here, 58.70 as a new high potentially on the on ES. We're looking at 58.68 as a new high break, and then 58.66 is a key level here. That's going to be upside. We do have a significant uptrend here, though, that is charted. I believe I have it on the 4-hour. It's actually a bit of a channel formation here. We do have some breaks here. Some breaks above, but currently we haven't broke above it, so this is going to be a key point of rejection potentially here at this given area. Given the structure and the price format here we have, this could be a very high point of rejection. So something to be aware of. We do see upside incentive and preference here, but it does not mean that we're going to get it. So something to be fully aware of, especially with elections coming up here. Something to be very, very conscientious of. Going into our NQ review here for the week, significant levels. We're going to be looking at the 20,538 level as a current kind of high break area. And then we have the 20,508 area. So that's going to be the top. That's going to be our peak at the moment. Our all-time high is at 20,983. So our big level break would be, which is not likely to get this week, would be 21,000. I don't think we're going to see that this week, but definitely in the coming weeks if we continue to see this upside incentive, and preference here. But we do have an ascending pennant development here. So at some point soon, like I'm talking, we're going to see a breakout. So we either going to see a rejection of the all-time high, as well as this supply zone we do have very, very clearly developed here. We've rejected out of it. Big consolidation, sell-off zone. Every time, even with this strong rally here at this point, we saw a major sell-off. So something to be aware of. I personally don't think we're going to get it. It really kind of depends on how elections go, I think. So something to be aware of with news. But those are going to be our significant level on that this week. So we only have 4 key main watches this week. Personally, myself, I'm looking at Apple here with this flat top development. You can see this on the 15 very clearly at 229.50 into 230. I really, really like this here. I think this looks like a pretty clean setup. Very good levels of respect. very good price action development going into this, so I'm going to be looking at it at 229.50 for potential entry, depending on the strike structure and price action off of open. It's very probable, and at this point, probably likely that this is going to be an off the open play, which is sort of what I prefer with Apple. Keep a tight stop for rejection, of course, with volatility increase, and look to see at 230 at a target, potentially at 230 20 cent is my target. This doesn't always have the best breakouts, so I'm not going to be looking to hold past the breakout here at this point. If I'm able to catch this for about 70 cents, even on a Monday, it's going to pay very well 15 to 20% more than likely. So I don't need more than that. I'm not looking for more than that. There's no need to hold more risk than that, right? So that's going to be the Apple play. Going into Amazon, it's one of my not as high quality, but it's definitely going to be one I'm going to be looking at. Not the biggest top pick here. If anything, the bottom of the watch on mains. If anything, it's a side. However, at 190, I do like it at 189.95 at that high. Overall, this price action area is not too bad. It's actually very, very low density on the volume profile area, and we're in a new area of range, as you can see here. That's one of the main reasons I like it. We don't have any recent price action in this area. It's been over a week. We haven't come into this area at all. So I do like this area quite a lot. You can see on the 1 hour, we're coming back up to recent highs as well into the 195. So like I said, this is going to be a lower though, nothing crazy, just something to keep an eye out and take a look at and be aware of going into this week. Next watch is going to be Meta, 591.21 as my next area of watching here. You can see on the 15, this is just a recent high, but this kind of strength on the company here on the high, especially with the divergence it had here off Friday with the momentum and the pushing here. We're definitely see some rallying here with Meta that I think is showing strength against the market. We're going back into the all-time high areas here, so less volume, less density, and more potentiality, therefore seeing upside continuation. So very, very possible I'll be looking at this to take this at 591.21. I have the higher quality is definitely going to be the 594 to 595 area where I'd be looking to take that. It's going to be a much higher setup and quality setup we see this week. But we'll see. It doesn't mean we'll get there. We might have a rejection. We are in a consolidation zone here, obviously, so we might end up touching 595 or even the recent high from Friday pre-market here before open come off Monday, and we'll see a rejection. It's very likely. So I have that as upside, and so as a result of that potential rejection, I do have a downside setup as well here. 582.52 going into the 581.61 downside. Target. Now I may hold this depending on price action all the way to 581. This is going to be a longer hold trade for sure. But if we see that rejection, that means we're going to be getting some continuation here in almost all probability, all likelihood. If anything, I'll just hold the 581.61 and get out there. I won't even look for the break because of this rejection point here. But like I said, this is a low volume density area here. As you can see, it's a very good area to be looking to take a trade at. So going into the next top quality setup here. One of my top picks here, probably right next to Apple and Tesla this week, going to be it's going to be at 413 on the level here. You can see here on the 15-minute, we do have some downtrends. We do have notable downtrend here going around this area, as well as this notable downtrend on the upside too. So what I'm looking at is 413 because this has formed a really nice, clean double bottom, almost a flat bottom at this point. And I really I'm looking at the downtrends here, and I like this downside incentive and preference here for sure on Microsoft. We are following this trend very, very respectfully. 3 points of rejection. It's a very clear downtrend. So we can see another rejection off this at around 415 off open here and going down into that area come here Monday. This is going to be one of my top picks for sure to be watching. Area on this, I got room pretty far on this all the way down to 412, but I'm not likely going to hold that long, so I don't have anything charted. I'm looking for a scalp more than likely because this doesn't always have the best follow through. So we'll be seeing kind of what it does here, but this recent low here, 412.27, is a pretty notable area of support. You can see all the way back to here. So that would be a potential target, but this is going to likely be a scalp for me. Tesla going to the next setup is going to be my last setup for the week here, and this is my top setup for sure, without a doubt. That taxi news really just killed it. We have a pretty notable downtrend gap here, downside gap here. We do have an upside, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I said this in a few weeks past on Tesla, how this company is a news and mass psychology-based driven company. So what we're going to be looking for is to see that continued weakness against the market for sure. Obviously, as you know, we went over here, ES right here and NQ alongside that have been following a very, very positive upside incentive and preference there. So what I'm going to be looking at on this is going to be definitely downside. It's my top pick because of that weakness it's showing against the market. And I'm definitely going to be looking at the 215 area and the 214.38 and then 213.67 start of the gap. I'm going to likely be scaling out at 214.38. I'll probably scale a quarter out, if not half, at 215, and then we'll just see the price action and ride it from there, right? Probably look to get out at the 214 break down to 213.67 as target as start of the gap. But if we have some really strong weakness here and notable divergence from the market, there's no reason for me to get out there. I will be holding probably all the way to 212 or 213 in that area, or even potentially 210, which is unlikely, but we'll see, because this weakness is extremely weak against the market at the moment. So that's going to be overall all my setups for the week, guys. Really, this should be a pretty good week here. These setups, depending on what we get with the markets, is kind of really going to discern, whether or not we get some great moves here or not. Right? This choppiness crap is never what we want. We want to see some continuation, as I always say, and not see all those crazy wicks. Otherwise, it's going to be another one of those quick scalps. There are a few setups that I didn't mention: AMD, Amazon, not Amazon, AMD and Nvidia. I don't like them because Nvidia's had a massive amount of rejections, and according to my system, that just isn't. It's not worth taking anymore, in my opinion. There was multiple rejection points Friday for 135. I skipped every one of them because of Thursday. The rejections were insane, and we're not seeing like it used to move. It's not the old Nvidia, and then AMD is just not in a great range right now. So that's going to be a kind of a side watch. So for me, that's going to be the watch list this week, boys. Let me know, comment, subscribe. Leave me a like. Let me know anything you want me to do for videos, as always, guys. And let's go into this week with a clear mind. Go into it as professionals and do it as we always do. Let's kill it this week, guys. Talk to you.